Holy. Thank you for the follow. Team. Very cool. Thank you, thank you. I can't believe I'm forgetting to make the rooms, broski. It's like the second time this week or something. I think I forgot to make Mondays and I forgot to make today's. Broski. Unbelievable. Hello, Yugami. Hello, Chitak. Yeah, so I'm sorry that I keep forgetting to make the rooms, man. Hello, Debay. Definitely been more tired recently. I don't remember not making it. Is the thing. Like I don't know. Am I like breathing carbon monoxide? Because man, I know Monday and Tuesday when I was signing up. One of those days, I forgot which one it was. I muted my mic on OBS, but I've forgotten that I muted it completely. I had no memory of it. In like the short span of 60 seconds of me deciding to want to drop off and muting it, and then minimizing OBS, and then reopening OBS to mute it again. I was like, what the? Was I muted the entire stream? Of course not, right? Because you guys would have let me know a long time ago. But anyways, very scary. What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing, step bro? Alright. Quentin de Warren. Is that opening? Why is this file so big now? What? Right, I guess we need to go to the next one. I never know if DE like this as part of the name is meant to be D or the. I don't know what language it is. Hello, Kirio. Sorry, let me just okay, let me think. I need to make two things. I need one reminder for Secret Santa people that it's only a week left. Actually, let me check. What's my current status board saying? I think I'm supposed to open up the final submission soon. Right? No, am I not supposed to put it? Yeah, 17. That's today actually. But I think like the submission will probably just be a chat thing here, as Uni suggested. I think because there's no need for there to be a separate form for this. So that's the number one thing. The number two thing is I wanted to update the sorry, the way I'm gonna have to make the updates first real quick. I'm gonna update the TOTG feedback thread with the updates of the meeting. So the one-on-one is tentatively go ahead. However, due to their busy scheduling, we are looking at it happening in Q2 2026. Unfortunate that they got early pushed back. It is what it is. I'll update when I have more info. Alright, that's it. So that's all the updates. Wait. Oh, okay. They're not the author, they're not the artist for Tintin, right? It almost feels like they are with this profile picture. Yes, shapes and no lines and oh, I just felt it right now. Like, I feel like I would like the colors. I like stuff. Yeah, I mean, I actually felt it before. What am I talking about? But like right now, I feel like, hey, I think I would like it more if there's like more grays on it. It feels really saturated, everything. Like even this one feels really saturated for some reason. Even the greens themselves are not necessarily that saturated. It feels really saturated for some reason. I think what I want is still like that weird nonsense you can do with the dark shadow colors, where you kind of bring them a little bit higher than what they should be. So you have like more range maybe on one side of the yeah, so it's like a limited dynamic range kind of thing. What? I thought I skipped something. What is that? What am I looking at? Oh, it's like a pump. I see. Yeah, what on Twitter if you want to understand. Oh, okay. It came out first, so I thought they might be one of those artists that is not on Twitter. Look at that. Oh, sorry, I should send the links here. Let's mute that sequence here. Fine. I feel like I've seen this portrait before. I guess more than one person will be using it then. I feel like there's a lot of stuff to learn, especially because they keep using shapes, right, instead of blurring all the edges out. Like all these. Triangle, 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 triangle. Big triangle. Smaller triangle. Oops. Oh, there's like two different tests. I guess like in real life you have to like maybe paint like a quick thumbnail to figure out the colors. Oh, it's just like a step-by-step thing. Huh. Doesn't feel like they're the same thing. is this supposed... Sorry, I'm trying to look at this. I'm trying to see, like, what I'm feeling nowadays is that a lot of this, this looking at other artists part of the program is it's very lackluster. Because I think I also talked about this before. Analyze it from like a strict sort of a set of a criteria or something. But because I don't have that much experience on colors and rendering just yet, it feels like I don't know what I'm talking about. And then comms and all the other things as well, yeah. Yeah, now thinking about it, I think like only maybe anatomy I might be able to see something like, hey, that's an interesting way of doing anatomy, because I would not have done that. But everything else is always just, oh yeah, interesting, that's this way of doing it, I guess. And then like, I don't really know what to do with that. And because we don't necessarily, well, we don't. Alright, we just do not like do a study of all these recommended artists. They just kind of disappear after a while anyways. Like from my mind. By after a while I mean like 5 minutes. So yeah, hopefully one day I can make better use of the recommendation here. At some point we'll probably end up looping. And I can go through all the old stuff again. Now because we're on colors, I'm just looking at the color rough. Especially like the rough one. Because there's already a lot of colors in here. Like all the subtle greens and yellows. And yeah, like I guess in traditional that just kind of happens pretty naturally. But you still have to put in the green here, for example, on the walls and stuff. I can understand that like the planes facing the sky is bluer. And the planes facing the sun and the light is a little bit yellower. But yeah, what would go in between? Maybe they would just take some of these similar light, like the light source, and then they just kind of blend a little bit. Maybe put a little bit of blue on the yellow, and put a little bit of yellow on the blue. I think what's gonna happen is that more likely also the I see like the tape pour of the paper. The tape kind of ruined the paper over here, but I think what's gonna happen is probably just in the next few months, hopefully. I don't think I will be able to do any better in terms of verbalizing why I do certain things, or what I would be doing necessarily, or what I'm learning necessarily. It would just be, I'm just gonna paint and color either based off of a reference to set up some initial stuff, but then beyond that it would just be like, hey, what do I feel like putting down? I think that what do I feel like putting down thing will have to stabilize first before I can really think about why I'm doing certain things the way that I'm doing. I would just always end up doing certain situations in a similar way, and then I'll just stop and maybe think about why is it that this is aesthetically pleasing or something. And then try to go from there, I think. That's like what all artists do. So that should be the way to extract. I don't understand the question, Kirio. They should be the way to extract color. There should be a way to extract color. Or like, yeah. Yeah, Debate. I feel like there should be the way. Do you mean a way? There should be a way to extract color. Yeah, so I feel like because there's like stuff like color theory and like, how do I say this? I feel like learning all the math and science, right? You always approach from like a theory point of view, and you learn to apply all these formulas that arise out of the theory. No, it's fine, Kirio. Don't worry about it. And I like that approach, right? I like the approach of learning ideas, learning theory, learning the formulas that arise as a result of the theory, and then applying the formula. This is the cleanest, easiest way for me to learn. It makes the most amount of sense. But the thing is, I feel like that formula part is very fuzzy because everyone does it differently. And the color theory thing as well, because it's not strictly objective a lot of times, right? So many times it's subjective. It makes that really hard to sort of pin down. And it feels really fuzzy as well. So I ideally would like to learn it that way, but then I think it's kind of hard because there's no like single thing. And a lot of times it's pretty lackluster, I feel like. Yeah, the blue on the grass, right? Like all the other shadowed areas. This color very reminiscent, right, of our they represent the highlight. I don't know. There's blue on the grass and the helmet. I don't think it's the highlight, right? It's just the sky, isn't it not? Highlight would be something more like the spotlighting, sort of like the really smaller bright lights on the meadows. Maybe it could be considered a highlight on the metallic surfaces. I don't know, like but I don't think that this would be called a highlight necessarily, like on the blue. Sorry, on the grass. I'm not sure though. I don't know what the definition of highlight is. But it makes sense though. If there's a light source, maybe you can call it a highlight. But yeah, ideally what I would be able to do is look at something like this, figure out the formula that they're using behind the scenes, right? And then like basically concentrate out all of these pieces into like a set of formula. Or it's like, oh, they use base colors like these, shadow colors like these, they stay within this range, and then why it works, what kind of emotion it conveys and stuff like that. But the truth is that I just don't feel anything. I'm looking at a lot of these pieces and I don't know if you guys feel emotions and stuff. I don't feel anything. I don't know if because I'm distracted. I don't know if it's because I just don't have the connection in my head. Art always feel kind of a little bit hard to verbalize for me, I think. Not starting on white background. But like what kind of color would you start off of then? That will kind of like depend on the stuff that you want to achieve perhaps, and then it's a saving. Okay. I think it's time to let me start a new thing here. I'm just gonna keep the latest stuff and then how big is this file? Only 126. I guess it's just a shit ton of layers or something. Is it opening it? Yeah, okay. I'm just gonna nuke all the stuff I don't need. I guess these are notes. Borders I don't need. これは今日のやつね。Okay. 13日とこれはいらない。Yeah, I'm just gonna nuke everything below then. Yeah, yeet. That's a bit faster here. Put a solid color depth, any color on it with pop opacity. Any color you put will be harmonious and the virtue of being part of the color you use as the background. Oh, okay, yeah, that's smart. Oh, okay. That makes a lot of logical sense to me now. Then instead of starting off of white, you would start off of a color of the mood that you want to achieve, I suppose. At least even if I don't feel emotions necessarily, at least I feel mood. I don't know if that's the same thing. But I never really feel happy or sad when looking at a piece of art. I think at least from just the colors, right? It's always about the people and the storytelling, I guess. At the very least, it's gotta be like a sad story or something. I don't know. Hello, Shark. I remember that name. 3 different ways to say the same thing. Very cool. By the way, today I'm just gonna start with tracing some stuff in the beginning here. Just a bit of a setup here. I'm just gonna call it E. What the fuck is E? I don't know what E is. Doesn't have to be the same emotion. Like, I just don't necessarily know if that is called emotion. I'm just kind of confused a lot of times. I don't know what I'm supposed to feel. Oh, wait, hang on, sorry. I want to be doing this AFK real quick. I Is it exactly a quarter here? I do have to make it a bit smaller. Yeah, anyways, I guess it'll just take time for me to try out different lighting, different colors, and then eventually figure out stuff for myself somehow. I'm doing what so as for what I'm doing now, I'm doing what I was talking about yesterday. I wish learning is a little bit faster, but like, since it's not objective, no one really knows what is it that you're looking at, like what is it that you want to achieve in your head. So you can never really truly go to the final sort of style that you want, unless it just so happens that this person is exactly what you want to have, and also you're clear-minded enough to realize that, hey, this is exactly what I want. But even then, people still evolve. Like, life happens, and then you experience new things, and then you're like, oh, okay, I kind of not interested in that now. I want to do this now. And then things still change anyway, so... yeah. So the most efficient way is to just go for what you like the most right now, but then what you like the most right now may not be that clear, especially like right now that's kind of what I'm feeling. So then, yeah, I guess it's just a trial and error to figure it out over time situation. Not really realistic to hope to go to the endpoint directly there. Anyways, right, I forgot to explain. So what I'm doing is I'm just trying to grab the basic sort of layout for some of these comps. I want to see what's happening with the way that they're framing the characters and compositing. Doing the composition. Compositing sounds so different. As it is, I guess, but okay, let's see. Just to get a rough view for the perspective, as well as where all the characters are placed in relation to each other. And then some of these ones, some of the other ones, they do. I'm starting to see a little bit more on like stuff like Dutch angle and stuff like that. It is interesting. It wasn't very obvious to me before, but there are ones like this with it's just like very clearly tilted. I'll do a little bit of this, and then I want to go back to what's the word? The rendering stuff, because I need to start to touch on some rendering. But yeah, actually, let me list. Oh, okay, yeah, there's this giant list of things, right? So I don't want to duplicate that. It lags me out. Let's do this instead. I'm gonna try and figure out what the target for us is here. Right? Yeah, it would have been so much faster to just duplicate it and delete stuff that I didn't want, but alright, fine. Let's do that instead. It's just really big and really stupid, but just keep some that makes sense. This doesn't really have any meaning, I feel like, especially like this one here. Like the shot size, like kind of like the point of the FOV, I guess. I don't feel like there's any meaning in writing this out. I feel like it's always the kind of the same kind of shot. I haven't really felt this that clearly so far. They all seems to be around the same kind. I don't feel like the FOV is necessarily that big. The perspective and stuff isn't really that distorted. Is that how that would happen? Actually, how does FOV do to the... It kind of squishes everything into your screen, right? So by definition, it must mean that beyond a certain point, the perspective must be squished. So what does high FOV look like again? Because the stuff in the side is gonna start to get distorted. Uh-huh. Right. So if let's say for example we have a really wide field of view, this amount of data must be squished into the same screen size, I guess. Okay, yes, thank you. Thank you, Shark. Yeah, that makes sense to me. So cool. So I mean like I'm probably not gonna do crazy shit like that. It will probably just be kept normal because things are already hard enough as is. I'm not going to up the field of view to the point where it starts to be like a fisheye thing and then it's gonna be crazy. Yeah, like wide angle telephoto, like both of these are kind of like the same thing. I feel like I don't know what the difference between shot size versus the. I guess it's talking about perspective though. ChatGPT is doing weird shit. I feel like it's kind of mixing it up a little bit too much. I'm gonna ignore this. I think I'm just gonna leave this to go by feel. Hello, George. I'm primarily just gonna leave this up for feel. Composition doesn't really matter. I feel like composition. Okay, composition, maybe I do have to look at it specifically. Camera tilt, we're just gonna do it with the normal stuff. Probably not much tilting, because it's gonna get a little bit disorienting. I don't want it to be that dynamic and have movement like that. Lighting, this is less of a conscious decision and more of just I get a feel for things. Mystery, drama, heroic, mysterious. Yeah, I'm gonna ignore this for now. It feels like an establishing shot in the film. Focal lengths for yes. Actually, Shark, I've heard really good artists talk about stuff like that before, but it's I don't do photography. I don't have a camera. It's kind of hard to relate when people have like I think photography photographers they have like this mapping of numbers versus like what it would tend to look like and what it might be good for, but I don't have that. Depth and focus. But everything will be in focus too. I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know what this means. They are kind of useless, I feel like, some of these points. Yeah, this would definitely be observer, right? We're not gonna be at the same plane necessarily. We're not gonna be... Anyways. Kind of weird, huh? Anyways, I just want to kind of get a rough feel for... So I'm guessing I'm going more of this direction rather than something that is like... So in the middle here, the horizon... So this is sorted by horizon, by the way. So horizon line somewhere in the middle. It's a little bit... Okay, this is not quite sorted out correctly. But then horizon somewhere in the middle versus horizon a little bit higher up in the canvas. Right? These are all looking down. Whereas these are all at kind of like eye level. And then you have stuff that is bottom looking up. But bottom looking up is kind of rare, I think. Stuff like this. A bit more bottom looking up. But because it's kind of in the middle too, it's kind of hard to tell. More like that. Yeah, this is also a little bit bottom looking up. And I think more of this and less of this. Because this has a lot of stuff overlapping. Oh, shit, I'm just looking at this and I kind of realized that I think in my original idea, it felt like there might be more environment visible, but then if that's the case, I guess the characters might be too small. And we can sort that out a little bit over time here. I'll just do some tracing for now. Oh, it's not the right lines, is it? Where is it? Go? Yeah, not enough, huh? Maybe the horizon's tilted. Sometimes it's really hard to tell. I can't quite tell if it's meant to be tilted or not. I think I might have to tilt this. Let me just bring it closer first, maybe? Yeah, it doesn't work, right? Well, thereabouts. Not quite right, but close enough. It's over here. Oh, it's not to the perspective grid. It's fine. Just readable? Kind of. Okay, let's see. Where's the other groups? I don't 100% know what is it I want to get out of this, but I'm just gonna give it a try. Okay. This has a better, gives a better feel for the space, I think. Because it feels like the characters are standing really close. So I think if I had drawn this, if I had tried to plan something like this, I would have placed them a lot closer. But because of the hair, because of all the other nonsense, all the props and stuff, I guess they actually are kind of far. So that's good to know. That's something that I did definitely notice from doing this. It is more space than I thought there was gonna be. So maybe I should grab the clothing too, real quick. Yeah. What the? Okay, yeah, it's silences drone. Oh my god, it's a stupid light bulb in the middle of the canvas. Oh, what? What the? What is this? What am I looking at? Hey? I don't know what that is. Shouldn't the shoulders be higher? Anyways. Do I care about the other elements here? I mean, I guess as long as I know where the walls are and where the pillars are. The props, well, I mean, the props will just have to be there to balance everything out. So they're not even anywhere close to being a priority, right? I imagine. Like this dip in this thing could be here, could have not been here, could have been somewhere else. I guess it doesn't really matter necessarily. Okay. Two story broski. Oh, you do need this frame though. This frame will be very important. To keep things, well, framed. So the proportions have some meaning in there. Okay, next one, I guess. I'm just gonna use the same grid, because I probably won't have to go back to the previous ones anyways. I hope. Did I do it for this already? I feel like I might have done it for this before. Okay, let's see. I don't know where the other line is. The building doesn't necessarily even actually follow the same... I guess I'll just use the same wall then. I'll just reuse this wall as the guide then. Because I don't even know if the room is necessarily, like, straight walls and stuff. Here. Is it even closer? It might be a tilted horizon again. Maybe here. And then what? What's the other one? where should the other set of lines go though? Huh. I have to use the round table to get it sorted out. Does this make sense here? Yeah, I can't tell. Wait, is this lined up? Oh, this is kind of lined up. Kind of lined up. Um, Hmm. Okay, yeah, I have no idea like what the other lines are supposed to go. All these are chairs and tables that can move, so it's like, I guess it doesn't necessarily have to follow them. Oh wait. I see these guys here. It's even lower? How can that be? Anyways, doesn't matter probably. Doesn't matter too much. Oh, there's a chair. Got the free-handed. Wait, is he not sitting on the chair? Because it ends there, right? Am I? Yeah, it ends right there. I guess it could have been... Wait. A little bit further up here? Painter habit. Alright, that's interesting to know, I suppose. Don't have to be too uptight about getting everything correct. Just make sure things look good. Yeah, this table, man, I don't know. Somewhere? Like here? Possibly? Okay, I cannot tell what's happening in the back. It feels like a very tiny room. Now that I've done this, it feels like a really tiny room. Because it's like no desk even on the other side. I mean, I guess realistically there might have been like, what, 2 more over there? Did I do this on wrong layer? God damn it, I did, didn't I? Regrets. Actually, where would it be? Actually, I don't know. Maybe somewhere here? Hello, circle. Where's her other arm? Okay, so this is her right hand. I don't know where the left went. And neck. Damn, bro, where's her neck? Yeah, trying to take a peek into what it might look like if we just strip it down as to his. What did I just say? Strip it down its to his? I mean, I said strip it down to his bare bones and see what's happening. Just get a feel for like how complex or like how things might look during the rough stages. I think like when you plan out in the rough, right, versus how it comes out the other end, there's a gap, right? If you don't know what to expect, there's quite a gap there. And the difference always kind of catches me off guard. So, and also this is just to also kind of get an idea of how characters might be laid out in 3D space and see maybe there's some comp ideas there, I don't know. But yeah. I don't know what I can get out of this, but that's also kind of why we're doing it. What is that? What is that? The body just disappears, I guess. I don't think it was planned more than this then, perhaps. Maybe it wasn't planned more than this. Because I guess at Min's level, they don't necessarily need to plot out all the perspective and stuff. They would just be like, oh yeah, you know, looks about right, and that's already good enough. Is the arm going? Okay, here. Have to go this way, right? How in the world? Hang on. What am I looking at? Where's her ass? Her ass must be here. Hello? Cannot really see anywhere. How is she sitting? So this is the left leg. The butt must be like here, and then it's like almost a side view. But then the tail's coming out where? The tail is like here, presumably coming out this way. But the other leg is on the other side here. We first learned it from our end up getting scolded. What? Why? Okay, that's the sleeve. Okay, never mind. What the fuck is happening here? They have much wider shoulders than I expect. Like, this is kind of crazy actually to me. Was it always like this? I just feel like it never felt like this before. Guess I should have traced a little bit earlier, huh? I always thought that the proportions are a little bit more anime-ish. Like, this is like quite different from what I'm expecting. Which way is this supposed to be? I have no idea. I still don't know what the hip is supposed to look like when you're sitting down. Damn. Just do that and call it a day. Cannot see. Where is it? Here. The clothes have shoulder support. Like freaking football players. Padded shoulders. Shoulder pads. I like how stupid everything looks when you start to dumb down the shapes. All the intricacies of the curves are just dumbed down completely. Man, chunky. I'm looking at this now and some of these anatomy feels kind of awkward now all of a sudden. It looked so good before, but now I can't really see what's happening and I feel like the flow feels a little awkward at times. Like, what is happening here? Because that's the butt. That's the front. That's the side. And then, like, the legs kind of come out this way. I don't know. Oh, forgot about Mr. Guy over here. Even Doraemon hands. Doraemon hands. What? Someone scolded a beginner for not knowing art terms. It's not very nice of them. Yeah, the previous one felt pretty far. This one is just kind of okay, I guess. Oh, and another thing we can do is to start overlaying my rule of thirds ruler over everything and see if there's anything there. I think the only thing that kind of makes sense to me is still the rule of thirds. Or like keeping something in the middle and having symmetrical stuff or something like that. But like, golden ratio is BS. I don't know what else there is. Oh. What do I feel about this? The points have like nothing. The points are all really awkward. It's like here. But there might be a nice flow of the heads here. I don't know if that makes any sense. I guess it depends on the original. I don't know, not necessarily, but it is placed like very nicely in the curve there. At least Texas is right smack on the thing. Anyways, we continue. Next. God damn it, is there nothing to line up again? Is this a cheat, right? Like to have like round tables? But even if the tables were square, but if the tables were square, I guess you do have to have, it will have a very clear perspective. I can't read the perspective from a circle. I know you can read it. surely there's a proper setup here, right? Because I just need to find a center and make sure I pass through it to the other side. I do that at a 90-degree angle, and then there should be something there. And now what? Like this? How do I know how much on this side though? I'm just gonna draw like a really orthogonal grid. Oh, but at least I have the center, I guess? And then if I use another circle, yeah, but I don't have another circle. I don't know. How am I supposed to set this up? I guess I'll just eyeball it again like before. Oh, whoa, where is it? Here. Oh, hello. Don't do that. It's still down, right? Yeah. Okay. These guys come over here. The other one. Kind of works, maybe? I don't know. What is that? What am I looking at? Okay, so I guess the thing that I'm learning from this already is that this is surprisingly, I cannot see shit. I cannot see the background at all. Like honestly, before starting this, all of them, like if I took a glance at all of them, if they all kind of feel like it's the same balance, it all feels like it's the same kind of like amount of zooming in on characters. Like showing the same amount of characters as the background, but I guess now this one is clearly a lot more on the characters. So you barely see anything in the background. So the stuff that you do see is not even that tight. I mean, it could just be because it's not enough space to show it. They Little Kier might have like probably did something really tight for the background too, right? Because why not when you're planning it? And if you're at this level, you would just kind of do it naturally, I guess. But I can't see anything. Oh. Yeah, the balance is interesting. Like, cause the image I have in mind, like it's so hard to translate like what you have in mind onto canvas. Partly because it's hard to see it clearly, but also partly because in your mind you see everything. I think like everything is very clear to you. Like you know the environment that it's in, you kind of feel it, and you want to portray that. But at the same time, you're also feeling and seeing all the characters sitting around and having fun, and you also want to portray that. And you can't portray everything on the same canvas, usually, I feel, because it's not a moving thing, right? But in your mind, it kind of moves. You can kind of zoom in and out in certain areas. So I guess that is like a big difference. Rin does look really small here. She looks like a kid. Maybe that's part of the lore. I don't know. Oops. What's the third layer? Did I draw this on wrong layer again? I swear. God damn it, dude. Wrong layer again. I guess I don't really care. Just for this one thing. Yeah, why is it when I start tracing it, things start to look so weird all of a sudden? Like this curve looks kind of weird. You just don't really see it, huh, when you're looking at the whole thing. Like, things are a lot less perfect than I imagined them to be so far. Well, this ends soon. Just behind there. Broski. Damn, they thick. Holy crap. Where did the other leg go? Where is the other leg, actually? It's just entirely blocked, I guess. Oh my god. Huge. Holy shit, it's huge. Okay, the legs are a lot closer than I expected. I thought they would be like open, like more like open like that. But he's actually just like Rin and all the other girls too. Right? Am I seeing this right? All these details that I've never noticed before all of a sudden just pops up. Oh, it's over here. And the other one? Where's the other one? Is that the leg? Okay, so it's going. So it's coming out this way, then bending back like that. Is this one tie? The shadow implies that this is one continuous form. Is this one entire tie? Holy. Damn, that is thick. That is like the width of the torso almost. But I guess the torso is in perspective, but that is some insane ties, bro. What do I even do for the background? I don't know what to do for the background. It's just like random props sitting around. Like, I cannot ground them in perspective is the thing. I don't really know where the perspective is. So I don't know if there's any point. Um, maybe just the chairs and shit that they're sitting on and interacting with. Maybe that would help somehow. What is that? Shadow or what? This chair looks very uncomfortable if there's no back on it. Oh, it's too dark. Okay. So it doesn't even matter. Yeah, so give her a back. This one doesn't have it though. Okay, yeah, so it's kind of... Yeah, it looks really uncomfortable. There's like no back to the chair. Anyways. Yeah, that would be very interesting. That kind of makes sense given what I'm seeing, right? But like, I can't imagine placing the characters in first, and then the props, because I feel like the space has to exist first before people can exist in it. So that means they're placing characters based off of experiences that they have or some kind of compositional idea. Then they wanted to, yeah, I mean, now that I say it out loud, it makes sense, right? Because characters are the focus. Kind of like how I'm doing my world design based on characters first as well. So yeah, I guess it kind of makes sense, but like, oh man, I don't know how I would do that. I don't even see anything. I see like 2 lines like this. Holy bro. I just lowered my expectations for what I need to achieve quite a bit, because it feels like it doesn't have to be anywhere close to being nice and perfect. It just has to good values, read the character, and then each character kind of just read their face and read the main sort of body stance, and then maybe a specific body part that is part of the focal. Like previously with the restaurant one, it's like people's hands holding flowers and shit. Over here it's like a bunch of ties, apparently. Everything else is just kind of eh. I don't know if I need to, like, is there any reason for this? It makes no difference. Okay. Alrighty then. Okay, let me at least put in the table. I think the table does matter in the front. I'm not gonna draw a circle here. It's not even the center that I marked in breadths. Very sad. Oh, I need the framing, right? Whoa, what? Very clearly on the third. That's nice. Secondary set. Nothing too special. Over here though is down, up, down, up, down. It's always alternating. Contrast, right? Let's see, I guess. Contrast. That's necessarily what I feel though. The umbrella kind of points to them. Target, right? The secondary target. By the way, the extra grid tier is so that if you choose your initial stuff, like let's say this is the initial one, right? Let's say, I don't know, maybe something like this or something like this. Something like this. And there's a secondary set of rule of thirds on this part. But I don't know if it necessarily applies to everything. This was originally I did that course on environment design. Yeah, it was like concept art environment design stuff, and then this was the rule of thirds ruler that they taught us to use. This one artist taught us to use. But that was primarily environment and stuff, so I don't know if it really applies for characters like this. But it's always nice to see if certain things lined up. Like for example, over here we have the primary here. So in the remaining area, there's like this additional rule of thirds. Sorry, it would have been like here, I guess, but at least Ludwig's on like the secondary line or something. I don't know if that makes any difference. Sorry, what do you call this guy, Ludwig? Gallagher, I think his name was. I remember. Surely it's gotta be a little bit shorter than that, right? I don't know what's happening here. Let's see. What is happening here? The shoulder is here, the neck is like stopping over there. So the other arm would be way higher than what I'm kind of seeing here. Because this continues here. The shoulder feels like it's here. The neck feels too far forward. Almost. But anyways, that's not what I'm here for. What's the body doing actually? What's happening there? What? I thought you had to be here. It's kind of chunk. What? Where's the waist? It feels like this is. What? Really close? We had been there. But then the proportion would be so much more different than all the others. And oh, it's another. Is that Lapland in Texas? Oh yeah, it's gotta be. Ooh. Secondary. 24. Okay. Jamaica. Jamaica. No way, dude. This lines up. My horizon's still tilted from like the first piece. But they all kind of lined up. Are they all slightly tilted, the horizons? Wait a second. These two don't line up, do they? Which one should I use? Because the vanishing point will be here. That kind of lines up there. Why is this one so... What? Why is this pointing that way? Also, I only just noticed that there's like buildings in the back, so they are like somewhere high up, I guess. Let me just see what's happening here real quick. Yeah, this is not gonna line up. Where is that point? Like what? I need Kodak. And then black line. I don't know what that is. Yeah, all these lined up to the same grid. Other than that one part over there. This one's kind of different, I guess. No, that's the skirt. This is just the dress itself. It's a really hard cut. What? Hmm. What is it suggesting? So it would have suggested it be here. Or at least really close to here. The stairs would be more distorted. All of these would be more distorted. Had to have been here. Right, so again with the spacing, right? Because you have this giant ass umbrella here. I don't know what the ordering is. So maybe in the drawing and the designing and the plotting, well, the compositing of the piece, they knew that they're gonna have the umbrella already. They knew they're gonna have this character with an umbrella already. Because what it feels like now is that you want to design the whole thing, starting with the main character, right? Which makes a lot of sense. You put them in, and then you kind of give them some amount of detail and some amount of space, and then you see what else is left, and you try to fit stuff in. Maybe that might be like more additional ideas too, I guess, depending on like what the story was about. Maybe these are like really minor characters. I mean, they've got to be. But maybe they're minor enough to be pushed all the way to the side of the screen, I mean. Versus just being a little bit further back. So if you can get like the main dudes. I don't know, but it probably isn't like a linear process anyways. It's probably going to be a lot of back and forth. It's gonna be... put some people in, give it a background. And then move some people around, see how it feels, that kind of vibe probably. Having innocent eyes is good for composition. That is very vague. Because I'm guessing innocent in this context doesn't mean non-lewds. So it might just mean don't think about it too hard then. Just get a feel for it. Also, what is Rin wearing on her ears? I know she's got big ears. Is that why she's got big earrings? Those are like a little bit bigger than big. These are huge. Holy. What is that? Lamau. Is there a name for this kind of comp where characters are just kind of standing around, not really doing anything? Aura farming. Or aura farming. Every one of them. Ideally, there will be like more interaction between characters. So yeah, so okay, it comes back to what is the focal here? A lot of these, because the characters are just kind of standing around, I guess the focus is more on having the characters just be cool and showcase like visual ideas and stuff like that. But if we want to have something where they're having a Christmas party, then I think the story comes first, the environment might come first, because the storytelling needs to come first. So we might have to plan from a different point of view. So we can decide on the characters that's going to be there. We can decide on which characters are going to be interacting with which other characters, potentially in what sort of way that is lore accurate and fits their personality. And then we can think of the space, choose the space, and then think of a sort of a frame, and then so on. I was like, hang on. So takeaway so far. Let me just type this out real quick. Establishing shot feels a little bit different, I feel like, because establishing shot would, in my head, the word sort of implies that there's a more like a larger focus on the scene, right? Like what you're saying, like on the environment. A lot of these don't even really showcase the environment even. It doesn't really feel like they're establishing anything necessarily. At least that's my understanding of the word, right? That's my own understanding of the word establishing. It might have nothing to do with what people mean by establishing shot, because I don't know what the people who have spent their life studying this kind of things think of the word, but might have to be burden. Oops. Bird. Oh my god. Further, need space for hair, clothing, props. This is just my own bias though. I'm not saying that there is low quality, it's just lower than expected. Some things are not necessarily as tight as I thought it might be. So even just ignoring color, ignoring rendering, ignoring design, if I were to place characters onto a scene. Oh wait, hang on, hits. Kinda... Yeah, if I were to play character on a scene, yum 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 yum. Oh, actually the ones that had a those are not there. Only this guy. I should have placed the horizon line here very clearly. I forgot to do so. It was kind of tilted, but it's kind of tilted. It feels like the ground is tilted, that's why I'm tilting it, but I don't know. It could also just be the other perspective, but anyways. Okay, so that's the stuff so far. I am still leaning more towards a top-down angle like this, but I'll probably spend some more time next time doing some of these eye level ones, just to get a feel for the placement yet again, because if it's eye level, there's gonna be a lot of overlapping, hello show, of characters. I don't think it's very conducive for showing. Oh yeah, but then again, we won't necessarily have that many things to show anyways. I was just thinking like, hey, if you have like this kind of setup, there's less physical space right before characters start overlapping each other. So if there's a lot of stories to tell, if there's a lot of interactions and a lot of characters, then they'll probably yeah, you know, you probably can't fit that many characters. But then again, we probably won't be able to fit that many characters anyways. So, but then I think at the end of the day, the priority that I have in mind is not necessarily the characters, but rather the environment. Yeah, I don't want it to end up to be just like a rendering of like 6 or 7 different characters and then like basically no environment. There's gonna be some element of sort of still keeping the values in check, keeping the value comp and making the scenes to kind of read that way, because you still has to have an environment. But then if the environment's details are not available, like I think it's that kind of loses the point, because I kind of want to touch on the details here. Yeah, sure. I'm still just trying to sort out like so today we did some traces, like these traces here, and I'm trying to consolidate what I'm learning into forming up a plan, right? Not just in terms of how to actually start to do the composition, not just to do that, but also to think about what is it that I want to show. No pun intended. In the God damn it. Because I think for us, I want to have like the objective, right? So like Q2 again, I think. I want to show environment. So Char cannot just block everything. Storytelling. Oh yeah, storytelling with environment. I think that was what I wanted to say the whole time, because like, okay, So that reminds me, like that one sentence reminds me, because Thorn's Dance is very good at, I mean, at least I like what they have with the way they set up the environment. It's always very rich in terms of props and items that just kind of makes the scene come alive. It's not just a bunch of characters sitting around, but rather all these really, really intricate things. Let me, right, they're not just sitting around. They're doing things. They don't look at the viewer. They're just looking at each other. They're doing things. And then the environment tells a lot of, it gives a lot of detail, right? Like where they might be, what they might be doing. And then it's, I think this is what I wanted. I wanted the environment to do the storytelling. And then I wanted the characters to kind of just be in there. I mean, they're also necessary for storytelling, but the environment isn't just going to be a thing that you barely see like this, right? This environment is there, you can see, you can still kind of feel it, but then the thing, it doesn't really tell too much, I think, compared to something like the other one. Yeah, it does look very complicated, and we will be going for Arknights just because it's the only franchise that I know of that I'm a little bit more familiar with. Yeah, and it has a lot of the stuff. Yeah, like even stuff like this, right? I guess things still look kind of orderly, so they haven't started fighting yet. They're kind of sort of storytelling. And then if you bring in the idea of like a Christmas party, let me see. Arknights, I know there was like a few, yeah, like that's like these ones, like half-year anniversary. Oh my god, half year anniversary. That's like so many years ago now. Like, hello, where's my shit? This one. How big is it actually? It might be kind of small. Oh, it's decently sized. Although I would argue that maybe in this case, the props, not like the environment doesn't necessarily say too much, because it really just is like kind of like a room. Wouldn't it be kind of interesting if what actually? Like imagine like a, okay, you know, okay, hang on one second. So yeah, I don't have the links from yesterday, but let's say interior design again. Interior design. Like imagine like one of these setups here. Like we have this kind of environment here. Maybe it can be like a Japanese themed tatami room or something with like a lot of sort of nature and wood as part of the room's design. But then just like there's like a trail of like burnt stuff because Ifrit has been running around setting things on fire, you know, stuff like that. I think that would be fun to have Ifrit just set a bunch of shit on fire and have everybody chase around her trying to keep the fire under control. And then meanwhile the adults are talking, and then you have Ifrit doing stupid stuff, and then you have other people trying to catch up with her stupid, like Shaw, right? Shaw and Ifrit would be a great kind of setup. Okay. Shaw, Arknights. Right, fireman running after Ifrit, pretty good shit, no? I think that'd be kind of funny. It'd be more of a generic kind of hello, is this not safe for work? What is happening here? What game is this? I don't know what game this is. I don't recognize the characters. Yeah, this is a mixture of 3D and 2D. I can see like the water renders, and then you can see the brushstrokes that go on top of it to try to break it up a little bit more. Sorry, why is this? Why did they repost it but sideways? Oh, not sure. Yeah, but then again, yeah, like this is only achieved with 3D in their case. Stuff like this. Okay, this doesn't make any sense to me, so... Instead of Botches the Rock, it's just Arknight's characters. But yeah, we don't have anything concrete just yet. We're just still kind of exploring the angles and stuff, just to get an idea of what people are doing. There's probably gonna be more textual sort of planning, I think, before I actually start thumbnailing, because I don't really know what to put in just yet. Yeah, this is the Infinite Castle-esque Japanese ryokan, I think. Oh, this is such an interesting environment. What is this? It's like indoors, but outdoors. It's like apartment corridors, but like completely indoors or something. Actually, it probably is outdoors, right? Given the number of plants and stuff, they probably is like open at the top to the sky. It's just because it's nighttime, you can't really see anything. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. What is that? Sky. What is this building design, dude? Holy shit, can you just jump across? Like, this is a parkour guy's wet dream right here. You can just keep going back and forth. What the hell is this? I've seen this before. It's like a big basketball court or something. But I've never seen this one before. They are like, this is really cool architecture. I would like to check these kind of places out. This is what I would travel for. Just buildings and shit. Hopefully it'll be empty. It should be nice, but unlikely. Hello Igami. Hello Deemer. Even just taking this and then just putting a few characters in here in the back, like one over here for sure on the left, right, couple more people running across, someone aura farming right here for some reason, you know, stupid stuff like that. Just try to squeeze as many characters in here. Actually, is kind of nice. Would be kind of fun actually. The rendering will be hell. Let me get resituated here. Actually, I got really distracted all of a sudden. That's just why I like looking at images like this and just drawing from the images instead. Because it's a lot easier than coming out from the... like, coming in from like a more sort of idea-oriented way. Because if I were to make it idea focused, I would have to come out with like the characters first, what kind of stuff they'll be doing, what's the thing that I want to portray and stuff like that. This one here is just like, hey, one image, all of a sudden it's like, oh, a day out, everyone's chilling, everyone's buying shit, someone's dying to the stairs, that kind of vibe. What can we do with this actually, just real quick? Today is 17, right? I sent the announcement, right? I think I did just now. Class Igami? I'm gonna try and finish my Secret Santa over the next 2 days. Oh my god. Gotta make sure to get it done here. I see. Why is it so light? Oh, because I'm stupid. Okay. I don't know what the foreground is gonna be. I don't know actually. Actually, if it's more environment focused, we can just keep the characters like here instead. Even. Kinda late to class. Are you in traffic? Are you driving right now? My god. Yeah, this is the thing about drawing, right? I can punch a hole through the wall here and just have the space continue somehow. Yeah, people running around. I don't know about scaling at this point, though. I don't know how big this thing is. Should be waist level, right? So characters will be this big, I guess. Texting and driving, yeah, Igami does uh, more than his fair share of texting and driving. Perhaps. Oh, oops. I nuked it by accident. Yeah. And who is Larry? Who is this new character? Who is Larry? Look it up? Okay, hang on. Larry wants to meet you? Is that what the meme is? Let me see. I don't know, I don't see anything. I didn't find anything. Larry the creature? Larry the cable guy? Larry the cat? Larry the cucumber? Well, like this cat? Or is it this thing? Which one is it? The black cat? This one? Huh? Okay, I'm still confused. What kind of... What? Is it this? Wait, they mean the Chinese baby? What Chinese baby? Chu? This one? We're so lost, dude. What's happening, man? Yeah, you guys need to curb your brain rot. You guys need to be prescribed reality. A lot of we can have like two idiots running up the stairs, and then like people dying in the back. And I guess this secondary point might be a little bit extra here. Yeah, even if I want to draw Arcanized characters, I don't even know that many characters. All I know is the few characters. I don't even know the lore either. Come on. But at least Texas and Lapland can just always have a good rivalry. But anyways, I think... Actually, yeah, in this plot... I don't know. Yeah. Broski. Hello, Igami? Do you... Oh my god, dude. Well, at least you're safe. Wow, okay. Yeah, so many good stuff here, by the way. This looks so nice, too. What the... What is this? Oh, that's the earthquake. Holy. Yeah, the Hong Kong fire is like 2 weeks ago or something? Or like a week ago? 2 weeks ago? The building facade, like the netting that they use caught fire and then it started a fire. And because it goes around the entire building, it kind of just engulfed the entire building in flames. And then more stuff started catching fire and people got stuck. Yeah, looking at all these environments makes me like want to draw them. I guess I do. An environment is probably a big part of what I want to do. There's more storytelling in the environment, I feel, than having characters. Almost. How do I say this? Like, I don't know. I kind of just wanted to. The original plan was really just to put Ria in a bunch of weird ass environment, like a bunch of modern sort of this kind of architecture. Not even architecture necessarily, but just places that you don't normally go, perhaps. Oh, I guess like places that I don't normally go. Would probably be a better way to frame it because clearly there's a lot of people that traverse here on a daily basis, but yeah, look at this. Holy. Is this a photo or is this a... It's kind of hard to believe that there's places like this on Earth. Like, it's almost as though people... Well, it also kind of makes sense. But people try and do weird shit like this. Like, what benefit is there to having two sets of staircase like this? I guess it's serving two different buildings, but why would you not, like, then put it on separate part? But I see another set in the back. Anyways, okay, there's multiple photos. It must be real. At least for now. What? 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 Yeah, like, oh my god. I would love to stand here just to take a look, and then I'll probably get the fuck out of here because I don't trust the construction, but anyways, it's not really good photos and stuff. So primary environment, perhaps then? Oh my god. It's gonna be a problem. For sure. Did I have more party pictures? Maybe this should be the next target, actually. Looking for more. I'm just gonna pack a few more onto my board. Maybe like having meals might be a bit more relevant. At least there's tables. People are interacting with the tables and each other, perhaps. Broski. Kind of a pain. I don't have enough screen space for this. It's stupid. I'll take a screenshot. Tiny. Yes, good luck with your classes, Igami. Well, good luck, rather. I mean, like, all the best for your classes. Oh, wow. Okay. That's a lot more skin than I thought. Given the stuff that they drew for the anniversary, I was expecting more like a mint kind of account, but I guess... They have 1.4 million on their ASMR, 100,000 on their VTubing account. That's pretty cool. Oh yeah, this focus is different too. This one wants to showcase food, so the angle's kind of locked, I think. I think the next step might probably just try to make some thumbnails. Get a few and see if there's anything else I want to pin down. With the help of references. I'll probably have to do that offline. Okay, let's take that for now. It's probably it for now at this point. Alright, now what? I was gonna just go back to rendering this. That being said, I do need a quality control here. Oh, actually, it wasn't on the other board too? Wait, hang on. Kind of forgot. Yeah, okay, so what is the target? I see. Not convinced though. Also more of a fabric thing or no? Doesn't have to be. I'm trying to think of ideas for the rendering, because you know, if left to my own devices, I don't think anything would change. So I'm trying to think about the textures, I guess. So clothing, we might be able to try something rougher. Maybe vibes like this. More just noise. Okay, not the general noise, but like I think more of like did I see something before? Yeah, oh yeah, like more like this kind of noise on the brush, on the very edge. Maybe we'll try something like this for that. And then for skin and then for the tail, right? It should be smoother. So we can try to make this smoother. And then for the hair, we can try to extract more forms out, perhaps. More longer, slender forms, more lines and more shit. And then maybe try and differentiate that way. Give that a try and see how it goes. That's one idea. The other thing I was thinking of is just actually looking at this color here. I'm thinking about phase colors, right? Phase colors have that really high contrast, which is kind of what you're seeing here with the gradients and stuff. So I guess really I should desaturate the skin. I should desaturate the darker parts, kind of set this kind of like a little bit more monochromatic palette up, and then we can then make use of the color of the hair to then really pop one color out, which is like the purple, right? We can keep the clothing kind of dark too, just like what they have here. It'll be interesting. Could be a nice color to try, a nice set of colors to try down the line. So I probably nuke the, I'll probably get rid of the hands too, by the way. I don't really like the hands. Also, what am I supposed to do here? Should I get the lines or no? There's some interesting rougher lines. Could also just paint. And then slowly refine it out, right? I mean, this one probably line went first. Because of the overlapping here. Colors are done on top. Just in a really rough way. The refinement process would be unknown because I don't know. Right. So it still depends on What is this? A duplicate set of lines? Because I thought I lost the original or something. And now I have two sets of lines. It's kind of stupid. I need that either. Does it provide any value at all? Yes, it does, right? But I do have to take it off of this. That reminds me, I think I wanted to give her a top actually. I could just have a really simple setup, like just school uniform setup here, because the top isn't like naked. Yeah, let me get some simple lines in that thing. Do I need that though? Like the tail kind of already is fine, right? It really reads against the background here. We don't really need lines for the tail, I think. Just for some of the other parts, maybe? Okay, how should I approach this? Because I don't know the answer. So I'm thinking that the tail doesn't need lines, so maybe we just not do the lines for the tail and then we do stuff for the others. Yeah, that's how do I approach this though? I don't know. It's gonna be a trial and error either way. But that would be all grayed out. Alright, that also puts more focus on the skin color here. Okay, that's fine. Okay, I think that makes sense. Oh wow, we have a lot of people. 7 people in the chat. Look at that. Does anyone know what game Gib is playing? Moderator only? Hello there, George. There is a vibrator next to her. Is the flagged message by Automod. Very cool, George. Very cool. Of course, of course, of course. Of course. Brew Protocol. Wasn't that the game that ended service after a year or something? Actually, this face looks so much better than the other one. Why is that? Of course. Nothing to see here, officer. Oh man. My tie-ins with the thing, right? Okay, hang on. I am die, bro. I am die. There is no lock on this here anyways, so maybe I just push this. Do I need any references here? I might. I do, rather. End up surveys. That is what I've heard, but I heard it from the people in the server. So that's a bit of a loop for me if I tell you that is the case. I think. Not that that's any issue in that. I suppose. Is there any issue though? I don't think so. Oh yeah. Yeah, what do I want to do here? Let's change the brush to my square-esque thingy here. Oh, it's okay, so reset please. Wait, they turned the game into a mobile game? So they stopped the PC game service, and then they turned it into a mobile service. Is that right? That's interesting. I didn't know that's the thing that people would do. There's more mobile gamers then? Not connected, right? cannot speed through this one. Kinda sucks. Freaking skill issue, bro. Yeah, very truly a skill issue. Anti-aliasing is off as well. Okay, that's why it's so crispy. Crispy bacon. I kind of like this brush more than the usual, at least right now. Because things just happen where I want them to happen. Like the ink just goes down, right? There's no opacity or anything. And the other one, you could also set it up like that, but the other one, because of the texture, there's inherently some gaps in between, like within the stroke itself. So I think, and of course I could turn that off, but then it would just be this brush, I guess. Would it be just be this? Anyways, who cares? What am I talking about? Doko? これじゃないの？これか。これですか？ここまでじゃないんですよ。It's like here. closer. Holy. What are you doing? What? Wait, what? The line doesn't exist? Oh wow, okay. It's just in the colors. No, oh, no, it's up there because I'm stupid. Okay, hold on. It really doesn't matter, yeah, it really doesn't. Yeah, I know what, I'm gonna line the tail anyways. It just doesn't feel very smooth to have something lined and something not lined. I think that only makes sense if you're just painting. Then you're just putting in lines where it needs to go instead of just doing it beforehand. If I'm doing it beforehand, it should just be done together. Why would I, so awkward to separate it out unless it's something specifically that, like, something that I already know is exactly what I want. That kind of stylization. It's worth experimenting, but I don't really feel like doing it. Ah, man. Yeah, I don't know. Probably still worth doing it, but that finger is way too long compared to this. Which one is too long then? Maybe I'll just shorten this one. Alright, I'll do that later. Let's see. Other side of the hair. My color say front half, right? But I think it's probably better for balance to have this year visible in its entirety here. At least match the width on this side. And the other side here. Oh, do I want pink on the inside actually? Yeah, it's not like this, I don't think. But if I do it closed, it might be weird. It might not work actually. Never thought about this part actually. It means the color balance is still gonna be different. I'll leave it without for now. Let's see. Oh, this is being pulled. It should just fall straight down. A little bit more straight than this. Don't need to push the other one. We are going to check this out. Nothing relevant here though. Let's just go back to this. We collapse down a lot more. Hang on. Where's the lock? Oh, and then the wings come up. Oh wait, hang on a second. Given that this is the back here. Yeah, the price probably redraw further again. Yep, okay. Even be over here instead, right? freelance. Could have done it with the colors on. Crap. Okay, I'll probably redo that. Oops. Oh. Hello, the virus. I didn't know if I wanted to line the tail, honestly. I think there's still two conflicting ideas in my head. One is to just line and do the usual rendering sequence. Clean shapes. Very distinctly clean shapes, each on a separate layer perhaps, or maybe not, doesn't really matter, but we'll be, I guess, putting things in very methodically, but it's always very hard to do stuff very like that because it's, yeah, you have to render shapes really well, I feel like. The other way is to go the opposite way. So the first way would be, I guess, cleaner shapes, and then the colors would come afterwards. Then the other way is the painting way, which I think colors come first. Then rendering can be a little bit more hand-waved. Oh yeah, actually now that I talk about it, maybe it's just too separate focus there. Not sure. Anyways, I didn't know if I wanted to line the tail, but here we are. This is my square brush, literally just a square tip. But it's nice. Very solid. Literally. Very, very solid lines. Opaque and solid lines. So I will probably remove the hands. I don't know why I want such a thick connection here. I make it more complicated than it needs to be. That was the original call, yeah. Fair. So this is actually going up and then coming in. Is it?
It should be more, right?
Hello, Duvet. Hello. Hello, Duvet. I'm doing junk again. Anyways, I didn't want to draw the hen. And then, so the train of thought is this, right? I didn't want to draw the hen, so it's just gonna be like this. But if it's like this, there's no reason why she would be flipping her tail over like this. If there's no interaction with anything else, it would just go straight. And then the bigger fin will be on top, on the top left here somewhere. And the smaller one will be bottom here somewhere. So I think Didn't I do that? Actually, I can't remember. I thought I did a sketch of that, and then somehow it got bigger because I made it closer to the viewer. Then I'm like, we can put a can in there, which is what I always wanted to do, but I wanted to do it in a different piece. But then now it's like, yeah, sure. If I do it, then shouldn't I be a little bit more aware of the clump? Put it at where where the third point would be, but if I do that, it looks a little bit weird. It's kind of hard to read that it is part of the tail, I think, almost. This one still feels a bit more balanced for some reason. Where is it? The other one? This one here. Wait, what? Where's the other one? Oh, here. I just didn't commit enough here, I think. I need to commit this. That's good. So that's kind of how we end up here, from my point of view. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like this area between the two fins is kind of weird. It's like, because this doesn't exist in real life, right? Real life sharks are more like that. They're a lot more streamlined, and also it's flat, right? It goes down and tapers down. Like if you look at it from the side profile, it looks like it just tapers off like that. But for us, it's different because it's all very round, right? We got cheeks here, we got cheeks here, we got cheeks here, we got cheeks here, and then we got the cheeks on the tail as well. So it's like butt cheeks on the tail, literally. That's why I kind of want to do the squishy thingy, because this part here is meant to be a little bit more curvy, right? So from the side view, it'd be like more curvy like this. If I do a cross section across here. So it's like shoving like a can right up the butt crack kind of vibe is where we're going with this can. Up the tail crack, basically. But this perspective is really hard to read exactly what you're seeing. If you're not knowing, if you don't really know what the form is like in the first place, it's kind of hard to read. I mean, of course, it's gonna be rendering and stuff that's gonna come in, but like at the same time, it sort of goes against like the what people would expect out of a fish tail, because it's not how it would normally be. So yeah, anyways, I don't know how to reconcile the issues and also the comp and also the idea, because I want to have the idea, right, for sure. So if the idea is locked in, then we just need to figure out how to best convey it, I guess, is the problem. I don't know how to convey it at this point. Or rather, it's not that, well, this is what I think I would convey the idea, but I don't see how it can be misinterpreted. I don't see the other perspective of people who don't know what is it that I'm trying to do. So I don't know how to make it clearer, because I don't know what they would understand. Just in general, like, no idea what's happening, I guess. This is a bit clearer. This feels a bit nicer. There's like this weird curve here that sort of cuts up the image into like half and half. So I guess a third and 2/3 at the same time. Or kind of having this sort of interesting shape on this side. And then this side we still have a normal sort of character comp. This one, the only problem I have is that it doesn't really quite sit on the third, but it also doesn't have to, right? Because it's not like the can itself is the focal point. Actually, now that I mentioned it, yeah, the can isn't the focal point. The can is just there. But this part here would be a nice focal point, because if we have light coming down from this angle, this part would be the highlight on the bump. This is exactly what we want to show off, I think. The bump, the curvature that's going to be present. Basically, if I do a highlight, it might be like something like this. And then also on the can and stuff, but... okay, maybe you'll go with this instead. And then I'll do like minor, like tinier sketches on the side, like what you guys saw just now, to sort of convey the idea and also convey the form a little bit. So this can be part of design, right? So the character design sheets In the sense that if we have a normal shark, it's gonna be more like this. Not even necessarily a shark, it's just any fish. Where if you have a cross section, it would be what would it look like again? So it would be kind of tapering off, I guess. Brush is too fat here. I don't know how to best convey this idea. If I have a blue tag over here, for example, it will be on this side. But anyways, blue beans. I did it backwards. Okay, congrats. Big brain. Holy shit, big brain. I might need a dip here though. Anyways, here's a breakout. Thank you. It's just stupid. Like, it's just, there's no difference. This thing kind of has been looping for so long. Why would it start breaking up now? Like, for no reason. I'm suspecting that, like, maybe there's some kind of other issue with the encoding, the audio encoding. I mean, with the RAM prices going up, it's not really a time to get a new computer anymore, especially with all the sales having just ended. So this is what I have to work with for a while. But maybe there's some more hardware resource management issue, I don't know. In order for this sudden breakup kind of situation to happen over and over. But then, okay, this does change my perspective still, though, on this tinier fins. I might have to pull this down more aggressively now. Oh no, but it comes to the viewer, so it should get wider. So actually it's fine, I can just keep it like that maybe. It means this might actually have to be closer. And then the top fin would have to be a little bit more pointed this way. So we're talking about the top of the tail here. This is somewhere here. Yeah, I guess that should be more overlapping. Right now it looks like the tail is super long with all these fins spaced really far apart, which is not quite the case, but I don't think I want to touch those anymore. It is what it is at this point. Yeah, the idea conveys. Perspective is kind of tricky. How do I say this? This is not very typical stuff that you will see. So if things are kind of wrong here and there, people won't notice this right away. It'll take some effort to think, which I don't think most people would spend the time on anyways, on this anyways. The only thing left would be to render this part really well. So yeah, okay, it's just a bit of a adjustment here. The original pose was always a little bit awkward to me because of the way that the tail flips around. The only reason why it doesn't look so bad is number one, I'm mentally justifying it because of the hands, which I no longer want to do. Number two, because sometimes people draw the final tail fins like flat anyways. They do it flat, so image-wise, it still kind of makes sense if the tail is like flat. So if it's a side view, it would be like coming out flat like that. Up, side, side. Whereas because we are like this, it really doesn't make a lot of sense. But people might assume it's this, that's why it looks kind of okay. That's why my brain also kind of registers it as kind of okay. Anyways, cool story, bro. I'll hop off here today. And then tomorrow I want to work on Secret Santa. Yay. I want to get it done this weekend. I mean, this is the last weekend. It's not really a choice here. Secret Santa, George? Man, 6 weeks, right? When we were talking about this, we were like, oh my god, 6 weeks, a month and a half, that's so much time, bro. But here we are. And then like all the other server, like Pluvium server, was like only like couple weeks, like 3 or 4 weeks, 4 weeks tops, if I remember. The email was sent out like they were setting it up by like last register timing was like 11. It was like November 30th or something. Yeah, 6 weeks went by in a flash. I don't even know what I did. Like it doesn't feel like I did anything. It always feels like this. Sucks. Yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna render the forms, man. It's gonna have to be done pretty well in order for the stuff to read. Yeah, I thank you. Thank you, George. Yeah, I don't know how this is gonna work. I don't want it to be that shiny, right? Like in the original set of references, there's like a really shiny one done by the original person who did the tail thingy, Haze. But I didn't want it to be that shiny. I want it to be kind of matte, but still a little bit shiny. There's a materials problem. So the form itself, yeah, I don't really see it. This feels a little bit better, I think. This probably just looks like this entire area is flat, it feels like. I don't know how to show the... Maybe like this? there be folds like that? I don't know. I mean, even if it's skin, it wouldn't fold like that, I don't think. Because it'll be elastic enough to handle this. I'm using the space between my thumb and my index finger to kind of see. Yeah, I guess it would be... Oh, I see. So it's more of like a... Like an apple kind of situation, like the top of the apple here, where there's like that dip in the inside. So right. That means if I do a highlight, it would be a ring kind of vibe around this part. And then maybe like whatever the sort of bulgiest part would be around here. A little bit better, maybe? Because a lot of the stuff here is so new. The colors, the way that it's supposed to work together or not work together. I don't know how to work around that yet. And then all these forms, like at least today, because I keep having to redraw the toe, I'm starting to be a little bit clearer as to like the sort of balance and the vibes that I want for each of the fin. Where is it? Right. Because now there's a very clear sort of setup with the how this works. Where is my stuff? Right, there's always like this round part, and then there's like an extension. So the breakup of the shapes becomes a little bit easier after today. I mean it's becoming it became easier when I was trying to grind this out. This part would probably still just cut in a little bit. Right, so now there's a bigger circle here, yeah. So it's just everything is there to make things look bulgy. There's like a lot of curves everywhere. And then what was it? Oh yeah, the lines. So like when you draw with a line, it's very natural to sort of end in something thicker, at least for me. Because it's easier to control the weight in the beginning versus trying to lighten near the end. I feel like this is way more awkward. I can't do it consistently. But this is a lot easier to do. So if I just do this, right, ends like that. If I cut this out and then just do a really thin line like this, and then ends thick again, it feels like there's like very clear volume here because of the way the line art works. So that's nice, right? There's very clear volume here, it feels like. So I'm trying to abuse that. I'm trying to use that more in all these different areas here. At this bottom part, this part. So today we definitely did learn things. It's just a very slow process. I got it. Right, so this one we need to get rendering. This looks better, but it looks still so bad. I don't know. Anyways, more iterations. Then the other thing would be right, coming out with some thumbnails for our thingy for this. I'm actually on the fence of whether if I should do this or not, because I'm looking at all these illustrations, right? And I talked about the whole idea of character focus versus storytelling focus. And a lot of these feel very character focused. They are trying to introduce the character in the context of the event, in the context of the game, in the context of maybe the original artist's image of them, right? We have like Ryan Labs up here in their lone trail sort of design. Right, so you're kind of introducing the same characters but with new clothing, with the new environments, stuff like that. But primarily the characters. Then over here, I'm guessing is also kind of the similar thing, right? New clothing for some of the characters in the context of the event. So they're all really character design focused. Whereas what I wanted to do, or what I had in mind, was more storytelling with environment being a big part of it. So that's why when I saw this, like in the Pinterest, I got really hooked onto it immediately. Because this one, I saw the staircase. Immediately I thought, hey, people could be running up the staircase. And now that's a whole story. It's not about the character's design. It's not about the character's introduction to this new event. It's just about the characters interacting with each other in the environment. And I think that's what I wanted to do. And if that is the case, then something like all the other ones don't really, like, this sort of composition doesn't really serve that purpose that well, I feel like. Because in order for the characters to be kind of balanced and stuff, you're gonna have people in the front, in the back, and so on and so forth. Then, how do I say this? Like, even if you have stories, they're kind of broken up into like 2 or 3 people, right? Like at most 2 people, it feels like. Because you have people in the foreground, people in the background, but they don't really feel like they're interacting with each other, one another. I don't know. But in this case, I guess it's the same thing, right? We have a character in the front who's running up in the front. I'm thinking this would be like Lapland, for example. If you guys know the character's personality, at least in my own head canon, I guess, because I am a little bit out of the loop already. No, it's fine. I don't really need the original stuff. I need the lore to be a little bit more accurate. I don't know who's gonna fight with Lapland. Like, let's say we use all the characters that are based off of wolves from Arknights. Lapland is naturally a little bit less stable. Like, she feels a little bit more crazy, right? So maybe she started the whole sort of I race you to the top thing, right? And then she'll just run before she said it or something or whatever. Texas doesn't give a shit. So she's just gonna be walking in the back. And then we can have like some other character. I don't know who else would you know, be a little bit more like annoyed at Lapland or something, and then they will actually try to chase after them. So now there's a whole story going around. Then you have other characters that might just like outright aura from. Actually, to be honest, Red in my own head, she's just kind of in her own world, right? She might just be standing here or something. Right, everyone else is kind of wrapped up in the whole nonsense that's started by Lapland. Even Texas, even though she doesn't want to participate, she is still wrapped up. And then you have people that are just like outright like not even involved, doesn't care, don't care. I'm just gonna stand here and aura farm kind of vibe. And then now you have a story, you have the characters, you have the interactions between them, despite them not necessarily being in the same sort of plane. And it's interesting. It's way more interesting than all these really static character introduction kind of vibe thing. And I think this makes more sense, like, to pursue, because like we still get to test environment, we still get to do a lot of complicated stuff, we still get to draw multiple characters in different lightings, perhaps. We still get to play around, well, maybe less so with the whole visual design, with the whole visual composition thing. The storytelling is main now, right? We're not so much trying to get colors to work like what we're seeing here, for example. Actually, I'm kind of curious, when he drew this, did he come up with a new design for all the clothing so that they are all consistent? I mean, with their skill, they probably would, I mean, they can probably do that pretty comfortably, I imagine. But, yeah, so the visual colors and stuff, I guess it would be a lot more realistic. More in the original lighting and more over here. But we can still, like, play up some of the colors, right? Yeah, so we can still make it super aesthetic. I think this is something that more of what I want to do than all the other things. Is Deemer live on Twitch? Do you have a link, George? I can oh yeah, actually, how would you send me the link? But you can't really individual design for concert. Oh, okay, I see. But yeah, I think I might try something like this actually, rather than that. And I don't know why, but mentally, this kind of stuff feels a lot easier to do than this. Even though the level of rendering that is required, the amount of skill that you need to, like, and time that you need to put in. it's going to be just about the same, right? It's just as complicated, if not more, because now there's a lot of photorealistic stuff that I have to try and simplify. But like mentally, it doesn't feel like at the same scale for some reason. So rather than being so like, what's the word, like structured, that I have to, hey, craft out a perspective. But I guess it's because it's taken care of by the photo. Maybe it's just because all these questions are already answered by having a reference like this. I don't have to, I don't have to design the background, I don't have to design the layout of the characters, because it's just not naturally fall in place in the environment. So it is easier, just simply because of the planning stuff being taken out of the picture. Right, when you have inspiration, it's easier to draw because a lot of the questions are already answered for you. For one reason or another. Yeah, and then Keith's, actually Keith's piece would be a very good quality control. Or rather, a very good goal. Because it's very sharp. Like, the edges are very clean, the shapes are very clean. There's a lot of details. We can come in and throw in some more noise here and there. Maybe with more texture brushes and noises and patterns and whatnot. Like the rocks, I was imagining like, because we have an artist up top here who uses photo bashing along. This one might not be that obvious, but some of the other pieces, there's a lot of photo bashing in some of the more noisier areas, like rocks and dirt and grass, that kind of stuff. These are too low quality, but like, yeah, stuff like rocks and stuff, I can definitely try some new techniques. It wouldn't be as clean. It might be a little bit disruptive to the overall balance, but then I can at least try that. So yeah, anyways, currently I quite like this idea of just these guys doing stupid things. I'll need to find a character that's willing to race the Lapland for one reason or another. It could still just be Texas though, honestly. I can just make her really annoyed or something. Oh my god, I thought the hairpin was through the year. Holy shit. I was spooked. But anyways, it is what it is for today. I am gonna hop up here and then work on my Secret Santa tomorrow and so on. And then tomorrow night I will we'll continue with our tail nonsense. We just need to get the lines quickly done, and then I can just start painting somehow. I don't really know how the lines are gonna play with the coloring later down the line. I mean, this kind of reads now, but no, because I did the colors yesterday. Anyways, yeah. Anyways, thank you guys for coming. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay, I probably have to fix this. The 50-50 balance doesn't look very nice. I think I should at least have one smaller and one bigger, so that it actually implies that it's the tail. And then the other big one is just big, I guess, perspective. But anyways, have a good night, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good night.